Okay, so the chapter I'm going to be talking about next is The Treasure Tempest. And with this chapter, I had a huge shift in my perspective on Victoria Peak. I admit I wasn't originally interested in the chapters in the book Beyond the Map's Edge about Victoria Peak. I thought they were like a detour or a side quest, or like smoke and mirrors when we were chasing the treasure that Justin hid. That's what we wanted to hear about. I didn't really want to hear about Victoria Peak. So I kind of skimmed over them. But after reading this chapter, Treasure Tempest, and then going down a very interesting YouTube rabbit hole about the real life Victoria Peak, I have changed my mind about it completely. It's so compelling. I am suddenly finding myself more interested in the crown that belonged to the Empress of Mexico, Carlotta, than I am in Justin's treasure. Like if I had to choose, if I would stumble upon Carlotta's crown and her jewels or Justin's treasure, I might choose Carlotta's jewels. So she's my newest obsession. I would suggest you go down the rabbit hole also. So I personally have already decided that Justin Posie's treasure is in Montana. But what if I'm like way, way off and the treasure's actually in New Mexico and Carlotta, the Empress of Mexico, is the bride? Wouldn't that be a crazy twist? So just a synopsis on Victoria Peak. It revolves around a character named Doc Noss and his alleged discovery of a massive gold hoard within the caverns of Victoria Peak in New Mexico in 1937. Doc and his wife Ova, aka Babe, claim to have found thousands of gold bars, potentially worth billions and billions of dollars. Like I've heard upwards of like $28 billion. So this legend has persisted despite numerous failed attempts to find the treasure. I have actually watched some YouTube videos of some skeptics, and I'm almost kind of with them that it just seems too good to be true. But according to the stories, Doc Noss found this incredible treasure buried in this kind of, unassuming peak in New Mexico. So one of the stories I really liked was how Doc Noss claimed he saw 79 skeletons leaning up against a wall in Victoria Peak. And not only that, when he ascended from the peak, part of his hair, like in the front of his head, turned white. And there's actually a medical term for that. It's called Marie Antoinette syndrome. It's a rare but like really real medical thing when sudden trauma causes hair to lose pigment overnight. But despite his white hair, do I believe everything he said? No, not really. I think he's a shyster and was exaggerating about the treasure at best and lying about the treasure at worst. But enter Grandpa Posie. If there's one person I do believe, it's Grandpa Posie. Because he's a straightforward and no-nonsense man. And according to the chapter Treasure Tempest, Grandpa Posie claimed that Doc Noss buried some of the gold with his brother. I guess it would be his brother Alton Posie, Justin's great uncle. So I guess if it's his grandpa's brother, it'd be Justin's great uncle. So Alton Posie. So Doc Noss, he was worried about one of his partners killing him, so he wanted to go hide the treasure he did find. And apparently, Justin Posie's great uncle was his friend and helped him bury it. So that's very interesting. And if Grandpa Posie says it's true and Grandma Posie nods in agreement, I believe it. And that changes everything about how I view this treasure hunt. So why, Justin, would you chase Victoria Peak if you potentially could know where your relative helped Doc Noss bury some gold bars? I can't stop thinking about it. If someone from Justin's family helped Doc Noss bury some of the treasure, why is Justin so obsessed with breaking into Victoria Peak when he could just go find where his relative helped Doc Noss bury the bars. It just seems like lower hanging fruit, so to speak. So Justin's super obsessed with Victoria Peak. There's 4 or 5 chapters in the book designated to that. And I was skimming over them because I thought they were just a deterrent. But in Pink Pursuit, Justin talks about how, in 1991, the Ova family partnership invited him to an investor gathering, but that mission was ultimately scrubbed. In chapter Digging Debacle, him and his brother Brandon try to dig under Victoria Peak. In the chapter The Tour Trap, he took a White Sands tour to get close to the mountain and tried to sneak by the guards. In the chapter The Parental Ploy, he approached a neighboring farmer to see if he could gain access from that angle. In Rearview Riches, he describes getting a hunting tag for oryx in the area, and he even talked about contacting NASA about his. And then in a recent interview, and I don't know if it was with Froggy or K-Pro or Treasure Hunt with Us, he mentions watching bats fly in and out of the mountain. That might be a good way to find a way to, like a hidden entry point into the mountain. So here's my question at the end of this very long video about the Treasure Tempest, which is a very short chapter. Let's talk about this. Is there a bigger piece of the story that Justin's not telling us? Did his family secure some of the gold bars that Doc Noss buried? And this chapter is his way of writing around it. It is documented that another one of Doc Noss's family friends, Tony Jolly, did go back for the cash in 1961 and was able to live off it comfortably. And you can actually hear an interview of Tony Jolly on YouTube, tonyjolly.mpg. So my question is, why would a treasure guru like Justin Posie hide key especially details so close to home? I do have a Patreon page, Patreon-Badrock, if you'd rather read these book club notes instead of listening to them on TikTok. And there's no charge because that is against Justin Posie's rules. Thanks. Bye.